I am so excited about this. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to chat with y'all. I'm excited to be home. All the feels, all the things. I'll adjust my camera just a tad. There we go. So I am just so happy to be home and back at it. Yesterday was a total like decompress day. I had to totally just take a chill pill and, really, I didn't even like no makeup, no hair. Like yesterday was totally a day for me just to chill. So, hey Amber, hey Lindsay, how are y'all today? But I have my face on, so I am back to normal and I'm home and I'm excited. And I want to share with y'all a little bit about this weekend. It might be a little different than what you're expecting. And then I also just really want to talk to you about that last part about transforming and what I mean by that, because it's not always about the physical and all of those things, all of the things. So hello, Erica, how are you? So as I get started, I would love for you to let me know that you're here. So tell me hello, give me a big hello, drop me a unicorn below if you're watching this live. And if you're catching the replay, which nobody's catching the replay right now, but when you are catching the replay, drop me a mermaid below so I know that you came and watched me, and I would love to thank you for being here. And Lindsay, the mermaids go second because, unicorns are better. No, I love mermaids too, but I had to like jabber a little bit. My extra girl, my extra mermaid. So this weekend, this entire last week was just a crazy, crazy week. Many of you know that I was in Boise and I was there for about 8 days, and it was an incredible experience. I mean, that's where our corporate office is, and so working directly with the corporate office was always a dream of mine to be in that position to do that at some point in my life. And with this opportunity, I've been provided that, and it's been great. So I was there working with them, but over the weekend I had a leadership retreat. So I got there earlier in the week and we really worked on things that are going to happen throughout the year and knowing what's projected, what's coming, how it's going to be done. And I love working in the office because I get to see all of the women that are behind the scenes. And when you're in a big company, like you take for granted who's packaging your items and who's answering the customer service tickets, because I mean, most people are pretty salty and they just care that the ticket gets answered, and they want it answered at 4:00 in the morning when they send it, rather than realizing that people have lives. People are answering your tickets and they have a life and they have things that they have to do too. And so you take for granted all of those things. And I love being in the office because you get to see it and you get to be more appreciative of what is happening behind the scenes. And the same goes for the founders. The same goes for those that are creating the new products, who are packaging up incentives, that are creating a new business burst or whatever type of promo that your company could do. We take for granted what all goes into that. Now, running a team, if you're a top leader, you're a leader with a big team, you know that it's very stressful. You've got a lot that goes into it. There's a lot behind the scenes. People even on my team don't realize what goes on behind the scenes. Years ago, when I had smaller teams and I was doing things, they still didn't understand what actually happens behind the scenes. Anybody else experience that? Like, it's always, hey Priscilla, it's always like that, where you don't really realize what it takes to be in that position, to do the things that they do, whether it be the customer service and the packaging and I mean, Miss Joy, who does a tremendous job packaging products, she loves, if you've ever gotten a package from us, you get like the crinkly paper, the pink crinkly paper, like she needs her crinkly paper. And I realized when I'm there, like, Miss Joy needs her crinkly paper. And if she's running low, she's like, I gotta have this fluff for these packages because it's important. It's important to put that in there. And you get to know each one of them and realize, like, these things are important to her. Like, just to put a package together, you can throw the stuff in there. You don't need the fluff, but it's important to her that it has the fluff. And finding out about the way the tickets are. And I was there the other morning, and the customer service, our customer service team, I don't know why I did quotes because they are customer service. They they had like over almost 90 tickets when I came into the office on Monday morning, because you're accumulating Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, going into Monday, had over like 90 tickets. Thank you, Sean, or Alexis. It's Alexis watching, right? Alexis, you're the one watching. Anyway, we had over 90 tickets, and within a couple hours, they were down to 10 tickets. So 90 people had written in wanting some kind of help, and they were down to only 10. So that's awesome. They're killing it. And these girls are like, what can I do to be faster? What can I do to make this easier? And they're constantly pushing. And I think that speaks volumes for them. So being behind the scenes gives you that appreciation to really be like, okay, I can't be upset when they don't respond within an hour. I understand that it takes them 48 hours. Shipping, when people come and they say, well, can I return? Can I stop an order? Can I prevent it from going through? It's really hard to do that when they ship out the same day. If you order before 2 p.m., it is shipping that day. Like, not very many companies can say that. Actually, almost every company I've ever been with cannot say that unless you pay bukus, bucks, and usually they still don't ship till the next day. So before 2 p.m., Miss Joy and her team are packaging those packages and getting them out, and it is her priority to do that. And so when someone's like, oh, well, can I stop my order? It's so hard to say, yeah, let's track it, let's pull it, because it's already shipped most of the time. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Angie. So all of those things that happen when you're in the office is just phenomenal. But then going into the weekend, it was about my top leaders. It was about those who earned the trip. And I can't always say like top, because there are some that may not have joined or may not have earned the trip, and they are going to be amazing. But those that earned the trip and actually attended, those who actually made no excuses and made it happen. I had one who drove from Georgia to Idaho. You figure that out. She drove from Georgia to Idaho, okay? Like, these girls were not about excuses, and they were a 0.2%, 0.2, not 2%, 0.2% of my team that showed up and was there to do this. I had girls who had major anxiety about getting on a flight, and they just, they did it scared. They did it scared. Yes, she is. She's my hero too. These girls just did what they needed to do, and I heard over and over and over again from so many of them. There were some that were like, let's go, adventure, hop on a plane, let's go. And that's like totally me. I do have a little bit of anxiety, but if it's like a trip and I'm ready, I'm like, let's go. Let's get on the plane. Let's go. I got my ticket. Let's go. I fly all the time. I travel all the time. It's totally okay. But there were a lot of them that they couldn't get on a plane, or they didn't want to leave their home, or they didn't want to leave their babies, or they didn't want to, whatever the excuse could have been, they put away all excuses and showed up. And I could just go on about that all day long and talk about how you don't make excuses for what you're doing, and that you push. If you make excuses for, in your business, you're never going to succeed. You're never going to grow. And I'm not going to chase that rabbit. That'll be another live. But they didn't make excuses. They did what they needed to do. I don't know that I love riding a plane, Alexis, but I do it quite often. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Especially if it's Southwest, because they're amazing. Just saying. So, these people did not make excuses. They showed up. So 12 out of a lot, well over 500, 0.2% of my team showed up. And they got showered with so much recognition and so much love and so much joy. They totally had their cups filled by the time it was done. It was so hard. I had one girl who was breastfeeding, and she came and she had to like pump and dump because she's there for, I know it's a little TMI, but come on, let's be real. Let's be real. Some people left their kids who had never left their kids before. Some were scared to death to get on the plane. Some were scared to death who had only left their kid one time before, and only for a couple hours. And I really give it to, the cross country driver and the breastfeeding mama and all of these girls who just said, I know what this is going to do for my business, and I know what it's going to do for me, and I'm going to show up. So I can't say enough what it means to show up in your business, regardless of what you're talking about. I love and miss you too. So that is, like I said, a whole other live in itself about showing up. Showing up. regardless and not having excuses. But the weekend was amazing. So they came in and I met them at a coffee shop. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown and then I want to share some things with you. But I gave them a quick, we all met at the coffee shop and had a quick little meet and greet, and they were able to get to know each other, meet me. I'd only met one girl before, and it was just briefly like a big hug and walk off, and that was it. So this was a way for everybody to get to know everybody else. And from the coffee shop, we went straight to the house, and it was seriously like Big Brother or The Bachelor. Like they were running through the rooms trying to figure out where everybody wanted to sleep. And this house was massive. It was gorgeous. It was huge. It was in Meridian, even though we were in Boise, it was in Meridian, which is right outside. And they all picked their spot, claimed their bed and who they were sleeping with. And from there, we open goodies, all of these things. And I'll give you one of the things that several of them got together. Everybody who went on the trip, plus Jordan. So Jordan, love you too. They all got me this. This is from Tiffany & Company. It's a necklace. It's so pretty. So a lot of them, we did the gift thing, we did the love and all the hugs and all the things, and we got ready for dinner. And we went to Chandler's, which is an amazing restaurant that has all of these, it's just great. We had a private room, it was a private setting, our own waiters that took care of everything and handled everything. We popped champagne, we had five bottles of champagne. It was a great time, a great evening of dinner and just getting to know everybody and having just a blast. And we had a couple girls who were local who came and joined us, which was even better. So then Friday, I treated my girls to professional headshots. So we woke up and everybody running around in their jammies, getting their hair done by professional stylists and makeup artists, getting their makeup done. They really felt so worthy at that point and special and confident. And I watched them. I would go and like peek out the window and watch them as they did their headshots outside. We had a beautiful background to do those headshots, but I could see them and they would do their and they were a queen. Like they were flipping their hair and they had this confidence that just was freaking phenomenal to see that come out in them. And it filled my cup so much, so much. So we did these professional headshots, which was absolutely amazing. How many of y'all have done professional headshots? Have y'all done a professional photo shoot or professional headshots? And how many of you have had their makeup or hair done before professionally? Maybe even you did it for a wedding. Maybe you've done it for the photos. Like how many of you have done that? Because it really does make you, it's nice to have somebody else do it for you every once in a while, right? You just sit there and they do all of this stuff for you and you just let them do their thing. That was really nice. And what was even better about that experience is the girls who came are another corporate leg. So I'm direct to corporate and they're direct to corporate. And so they were like my sideline sisters who came and did this for us, which was even better because we're all Lash sisters and we got to know each other. And it was so much fun to watch them do that. So all of these girls were getting ready and doing this and then had their headshots. And from there we went to the treehouse, which again is our corporate office. And, I don't want to get emotional. That was probably a pivotal moment for so many of these girls because when they opened up the door, they were popping champagne, they were crying, they were so excited to see these girls, just so excited to be able to open their doors to them, to show them behind the scenes, to be there, to meet with them, to talk with them, to get to know them. So while they were at the treehouse, they were able to see there was not a dry eye the second we walked in. You're absolutely right, Chelsea. Everybody was in tears. We toasted, and they were able to package different orders and leave little love notes. They talked with the founders. The founders were asking them, what do you need from us? What can we do to help this business be successful? That is very rare that you get this opportunity, which is why these 12 were the elite to show up and do it. And they were really able to get a feel for who we represent, who I represent, and why I do what I do. Yes, it's because I love the products, but it's so much more than that, right? Like it's who you stand behind and what the company stands for and how they treat you. How do you feel? I think that's a lot of it. How do you feel? If you don't feel great, like if you're not grateful for where you are, if you don't feel appreciated, if you don't feel like someone values you, you're not going to want to work with them, right? I mean, that's anywhere. And yes, the product has to be stellar, but you also have to have people that you work for that you have got their back, and like, you know that they have your back as well. And I think that's what the girls got to see firsthand, is why I love Jessie so much, why I adore Jeannie and have to pull her out of her cave, and why I love Amanda and think that Amanda and I are two peas in a pod, which is why Jessie and I get along so well, because Amanda and I, same personalities. Like, they got to see what I see. And they got to see and hear and touch everything that a lot of people don't get to do. So it was a great experience, but it got better. That night, those founders, those same people, and even customer service, and I mean, all of the teams that were there came out to the house that we were staying at and had a pizza party. They ordered pizza and came to the house and drank wine with us and had a beer with us and like hung out and chit chatted with everybody. Hey, Emily. And Erica can make anyone smile. That girl, I love Erica. Erica's my girl. Love Erica. So, they all came out, they chit chatted, everyone hung out with everyone. I personally was so fulfilled with that more than anything else over the weekend, because I got up, I really didn't sit in one place. I got up and I walked around and I observed, and I was really able to see what was going on and what was happening. And here's the CEO and the CSO and the COO and the customer service, everybody just being normal human beings, normal women who were comfortable, who were laughing, who were joking, who were letting their hair down. And I could walk through every room and there was laughter and love, and I felt so fulfilled. I just was on such a high on that evening, because everyone was in their element. Like, it was a good night. So Saturday we did a whole lot of training. And you're like, training. No, it was good training. You know, what I put out there for, trying wigs on, forgot people were trying wigs on. They were looking like Beyonce. They were looking, they had pink hair. It was so much fun. So much fun. And then when you say, training, but training was not what you think. It was about filling your cup to the max capacity. Like, they were I had someone training on, affirmations and manifestation, and whether you believe in it or not, it works, because that's what I did to this company and this business, is I manifested that. And so learning about that, and I had another that talked about social media. And with me, I really drove home, which goes into the last part of this video, about women, the things that we hold as women, and letting that go and being that superwoman and having that confidence. And another day that there was not a dry eye in the bunch. I held it back as best as I could throughout the weekend. And I remember, another thing is our CEOs, our founders came on Saturday also and helped do some training. And so Jeannie and Jessie came in the morning, and they actually helped us put together our mission statement for our team, for our tribe, which was amazing. And I do plan to put that out there pretty soon. It was great. It was great that the girls that were there were able to come together and create this mission statement going forward to say why we are doing what we're doing. But then at the end, Amanda and Erica came for team building, which was so much fun. The girls were running all over the house, and they were trying to get the scavenger hunt stuff, and they were running over each other. It was so much fun. And then at the end, Amanda's asking like their why and what made them like join Red Aspen, or why they were doing what they were doing, why they're here. And listening to them, like I was like, dude, I'm gonna cry. I'm like wiping my eyes off. I'm like, this is just too much. And it takes a lot for me to cry, not because I don't want to cry, because I cry all the time, but I just don't like to cry in front of people. I don't know. I'm weird. And so I was like holding it in. And it really takes a lot for me to get to that point. And I remember thinking, not even halfway through, Amanda going through person by person, thinking, just do not call on me. I know she's going to ask me. Just don't ask me, Amanda. I'm going to kill you, Amanda. Don't ask me, Amanda. I know you're going to. And I was thinking all these things, and I went through and listened to everybody, and then they got to me, and I lost it. I lost my crap. I'm just so blessed about this, and I was so overwhelmed by that point with all of the emotions that had happened and everything that had gone on, and my cup was so filled, so filled. I know that I am where I need to be, and it's such a good feeling, such an amazing feeling. And it was just great. So Sunday we had brunch. Everybody left. I got to spend time with each and every one of them personally and really pour into them individually. But what I took from this trip is what is the most important part of this video is I realized what I do personally on a daily basis is so much more than what I give myself credit for. You know, I say, like, unleash your inner sparkle, and I talk about, like, I am the glitter CEO. I love all things sparkly and glittery and unicorns and rainbows, and I love all these things, and I feel like every little girl has a little princess inside of her that you want to be treated like a princess and you want to be treated like royalty, and there's this little girl that needs that recognition and needs to come out and needs to be spoiled and needs to be loved, and as women, we let it all go. We let ourselves go. We're all about giving to so many other people. We give, and we're given out. We're given out. We give to our husbands. We give to our children. We give to our spouses, our girlfriends, our boyfriend, whatever. We give to everyone around us. We give to organizations. We give in our job. We give in our church. We give in our community. It's give. And we were taught as women culturally to just take the brunt end of things, right? Like we hold everything in, we carry the weight. Men are good at being strong and doing the outdoor stuff, and there are some men who take the brunt end of deals. I'm not knocking them, but the majority of the time, women take a lot. And we are such emotional creatures. How many of you are emotional creatures? Like, holla, like emotional creatures. And we carry, how many of you carry so much on your shoulders? How many of you do? Are you like that where you do so much? Are you giving out sometimes? I'm interested to know. Are you giving out sometimes? You give and give and give and give and give. Are you to a point where you've given and given and given? Are you taught to give and give and give and give? And how many of you get to a point where you are carrying the load and you're not the one who gets to cry. Moms don't cry. You got to pick up the baby and do all that. Like you don't get sick. You got to go, you got to keep going. Like you never get to be you. That's what it comes down to. You don't get to be you. You're not you. You are a wife. You are an employee. You are the person in the church that does the singing, or the person who does the bulletins, or the person who does Vacation Bible School, or the person in the community who does this, or the person who does that, or you're the mom of 4 kids, 5 kids, 3 kids, 1 kid, whatever. You are every other role but yourself. But yourself. And what I really pushed this weekend was that you needed to be confident. You need to, I'm gonna say it. You need to let shit go. Sorry, not sorry I said that. There are things in your life that you have to let go. You do not need to be afraid that one day someone's gonna pull a curtain open and reveal this evil person behind you, or, that you bring up your past, because the past is the past and it made you who you are today. There are a lot of scars that I have in my life. There are a lot of demons that chase me. There are a lot of skeletons in my closet. But they're in the past, and I'm moving forward. And I am who I am today because of all of those scars, because of all of that past, because of those skeletons. And if somebody wants to rip those skeletons out of the closet, shame on them, not shame on me. Not shame on me. Shame on them for wanting to tear someone down. If you've moved past something and you have grown and you are no longer that person, you should not be reminded of that time. You should not be reminded of the pain that you felt, because it is in the past. There's very few people, and maybe one day I'll share with more people, but I know a couple of you heard my story about this tattoo and how I had another tattoo underneath it, and I did a cover up, and I'm giving you a real quick gist on it. But I looked down on this and down at this tattoo, and I remember I had it removed. I have this like keloid underneath it. It's covered up. I wanted it covered. I wanted it gone because I didn't want to remember the past. But the past is part of who you are, and there is nothing I can do to cover this up. I look down at this and I still see what's underneath it. I still remember the pain I went through to try to get it removed. I remember everything. Just because you remember it doesn't mean that's where you live. This does not reflect who I am. This is a reminder that I had a shitty past and I am a different person now. I am a different person and I am so much better for it. I am grateful for the things that have happened in my past. I am grateful for my skeletons. I am grateful that I have been in so much pain. I am grateful for all of the things that have happened in my life because they made me who I am. And I know that I am not just a mother. I am not just a wife. And I'm not going to cry. And I'm not just whatever role you want to put me in. I am a badass leader who loves you more than you'll ever know. Every single person I love, and I am a servant-driven badass leader. I am one that wants to be there and fill your cup. I love what I do, and I am all about the glitter and the sparkles and the rainbows and the unicorns because they're fun and because they remind you that it is more than just a sell. It's more than just buy this thing. That's not what this is about. And what I learned this weekend from all of these women and watching them cry and watching them break down and watching them let go of all of these demons and all of these things that have held them back. They've held them back. Is going to make them better leaders. Is going to make them better human beings. It's going to make them better moms and wives. And they get to leave with their cup filled and they get to leave with so much more than what they showed up with. Even the quiet ones, even the little young Natalie who's quiet, who doesn't say a lot, it was such an impact. It was such an impact for her. Watching every single person and watching the hard one. I'm not going to name who that is, but I had someone who's very hard and is very hard to crack. And I watched her break down and tell me that she doesn't think it's possible. What is wrong that you don't think it's possible? What is wrong that you don't think you're worthy enough? That you're not good enough to have what every other person has? You're not worthy enough to be at the top. You're not good enough to be able to rank up or be whoever you want to be. It doesn't have to be about cells. You are worthy. You are enough. You are valued. And someone loves you. Even if it's only Jesus. Bless your heart. But someone loves you. Someone loves you. So you need to get up and you need to put the Wonder Woman pose on and you need to lift your shoulders high and you need to be proud of who you are because ladies, you are a badass too. You are. And what I learned over the weekend is I've said unleash your inner sparkle and do these pretty frilly things. But you know what? I'm transforming lives. And what I'm doing is I'm teaching you that you are not what people have said that you are. You're not. And I want to reveal to you who you truly are and what you are meant to do and who you are truly meant to be rather than who everybody tells you you are. Because you're not just a mom, a wife, an employee. And then if we get into the bullying aspect, you are not ugly, worthless. You're not a slut. You're not, a piece of trash. You're not deserving of being beat down. You are not this little bitty piece of crap that everybody can walk all over. You are not a freaking doormat. Get up and be stronger. A lot of you don't know my story. A lot of you don't know where I came from, and that's okay. That's okay. But I can tell you I've dealt with a lot of crap, and I've told my team before, there are a lot of things that they can come to me and they can talk to me about, and they can say, well, you don't understand. Guess what? I probably do. I don't put it out there. And maybe I should. I'm not ranchy. Yes, Candace, let's not go there. I'm not what people think I am because maybe you don't know me. Maybe we don't talk about it. Maybe I need to be a little more vulnerable and share some of those things. Maybe I do need to break down and cry to you. Maybe. But I also know that I've overcome those things and I'm past those things and I'm a different person. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful that I am who I am. Do I have a colorful past? Absolutely. How many of you have a colorful past? How many of you have done things that you really are embarrassed about? How many of you have done things that you are ashamed of? Like truly ashamed of? I mean, honestly. How many of you have done things that you wish that nobody knew you did because you're scared to death that they're going to pull that curtain back and throw those skeletons at you and everybody's going to see who you truly are? How many of you? Because I can tell you right now, they made you who you are, and that's not who you are today. You know, I was a young mom, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but I will tell you a little bit about why I am such a badass today. I was a young mom. I graduated high school early because I wanted to, not because I was pregnant, but I wanted to, which I got pregnant shortly after. I got married. I lived in Hawaii, the most beautiful place, but I had a child there. I was in a very abusive relationship, and I came home for a wedding. I was home a week for this wedding, my uncle's wedding, and I got a call from my husband at the time who said, I don't want to be married anymore. I'm shipping your stuff home, and here I am with this baby and no place to go and don't know what to do. And it was reality. Reality hit. And I lived with my mom for a while. I had to get into an apartment. He had my vehicle. I didn't have a vehicle. I had to somehow get a vehicle. I was going to work. I was going to school full time. I was working full time. I didn't really get to be around my baby. My mom was raising my child for a little bit. I had to be on WIC. I was, all of these things. And how many of you do the WIC cheese block and all the milk and all the formula? Like been there, done that. Had to have the help. Had to get on my feet. I did Section 8 housing. I had no other choice, and I stayed in Section 8 housing. It is not a bad thing to get government assistance, and there's nothing to be ashamed of to get government assistance. But you get yourself out of it. You don't stay there. So I met the man of my dreams and married him, and he had 2 kids. I had 1, and within a year time, we were married and had 4 kids. I was pregnant and had another on the way. So I went from 1 kid to 4 kids in a matter of no time whatsoever. And then we got custody of them, and I'm raising these kids, and they're my babies. And it was a long journey, and we struggled. My husband and I have been separated. I did a lot of things in my marriage that I regret, and I'm so grateful that he has been the rock and the amazing person that he is, because I don't have a greater cheerleader than him, and he'd hate for me to call him a cheerleader, but he is my rock, and he is everything to me, and he has been there for me through thick and thin. So we've gone through so many things with our kids. We've had one that was in jail for a little bit. We had one who has tried to take her life multiple times. We have one who has a really horrible boyfriend who has gotten in my face and done things that he shouldn't. And I've had one who is struggled with all kinds of things. We've dealt with a gamut of things with our kids. Are we a bad parent? No. I gave everything to my kids, sometimes way too much. Sometimes I spoiled them way too much. And maybe that's why they're rotten. I don't know, but I love my children, and I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't give it up. I would not turn my back on them in that sense. Like, if something really bad happened, I'd always be there. Do you have to walk away from bad behavior? Yes, but you never walk away from your kids. You always have a door open, right? So I've done that. I've dealt with, I don't know about you, but having a child want to take their life and not want to live anymore, I'm not going to cry, guys. That in itself, I felt like I didn't want to live multiple times in my life. And to have your child feel that way, we've dealt with some sexual assaults. We've dealt with so many things that I can't even speak about. I've had my gamut. Cheated on, to cheating, to abuse, to verbal. I've been physically assaulted. I've had a gamut. But you know what? In the end, every breakthrough has a breakdown, and I had to learn that I'm not that person, and I should not be ashamed of the things that I've gone through, and I should not be ashamed of who I am. And more people have these stories than you think. More people than I care to admit have had a miscarriage, have been assaulted, have had a child want to take their life, have had a child go to jail, have had Satan just take over their life for a while. So many people can relate. What sets me apart from all of those people is that I don't let it keep me down. And I'm not going to let it keep me down. Like I said, this is a reminder. I know where I was. I know where I am today. I know people don't agree with tattoos. That's okay. I know people don't agree with purple hair. That's okay. Thank God you're not me, right? So this is my newest tattoo, which is peeling and is not all that great. But there's a reason I chose this. Look up the anchor in the Bible. Go look at what this is about. And it says, refuse to sink. I chose this because I said at the beginning of this year that this is my year of redemption. This is my year of redemption. And it wasn't about, I'm going to prove somebody wrong or I'm going to put this in their face. It was for me. It was for me because I need to transform. I needed to know it was okay, all the crap that I've been through. It's not who I am anymore. This is who I am. And this is who I'm going to be. And I refuse to sink. And when you finally have that person inside you come out and you realize what you're holding and you unleash the beast, or in my version, unleash the sparkle within you, you become a force to reckon with. A force that nobody can stop. You are unstoppable. And that's what I want for every single person who watches this. Would I love for you to be on a leadership retreat? Absolutely. Would I love for you to be on my team? Absolutely. Would I love to mentor you? Absolutely. But for you to say, I am worthy, I am loved, I am cared for, and I am enough, that's what I do this for. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for the glory. I'm here to make every single person who's watching this realize you're worthy. You're enough. You are. You're amazing. And you will conquer the world in your own way. Unleash that inner sparkle. Stop being just the mom. Stop being just the wife. You know how many years it took me to get a tattoo or put on purple hair because everybody around me would say that that was not right? I grew up Southern Baptist. Like, you don't cuss, you don't dance. Like, I dance. I mean, thank God I had a mom who let me dance and had a mom who doesn't mind clinking a glass of wine. But I'm around it all the time where you're put into this mold. And I was done. I told my husband, I'm like, when we got separated, one of the biggest reasons we got separated was because I was like putting myself in this Martha Stewart, Betty Crocker mold of like who he needed as a wife. And I was like, damn it, this is who I was when you met me and I need to go back to that. And that's who I am. And then, just side note, I just fit into a pair of pants that I wore when I dated him and have not worn them in 16 years, so holla. So when you transform your life and you become happy with who you are, guess what happens? You lose weight, you look good, you feel good, and it exudes from you. It exudes. Guys, ladies, honeys, sweeties, unicorns, rainbows, and mermaids, all of you, you are worthy, you are enough, and you need to unleash that inner sparkle. You do. I hope that this gave you some inspiration. I hope that it provided you value. I'd love for you to hit that share button. I think every woman in this entire universe needs to hear this message. It is wonderful that I went to the treehouse. It is wonderful that I have a team that was there. But the true message is that you are more than you let yourself be. And your past does not need to hold you back because it does not define you. Now, go out there and be badasses because I know you are. I love you all. Bye for now.